So for today's recipe, first we're going to prep all our veggies. So I've washed my French beans really well, or faraspi as you call them, and I'm just going to chop them, sideways like this with a very sharp knife. I like to cut them small, but you can keep them long too. It all depends on what you like. I like to cut them into bite-sized pieces. Now I'm just going to wash the carrot, peel it, and I'd like to take out the center white part, and then again I chop it sideways into small little bits like this and set it aside. So you can always prep your veggies, a day ahead and keep. So I'm going to cut up my capsicum. I'm going to take up all this white stuff. And then I'm going to chop it up into small bits like this. So the choice is yours. You can cut it up into small bits, or you can keep them even into long slivers. I like to cut them into small pieces because it's much easier to, eat them rather than the long, cut slices. But again, like I said, choice is all yours. And then I'm going to, chop up the spring onions. So first I like to chop the leaves up and then the onions. Now one tip here is soak these spring onions, before you start chopping them into some salt water for at least 15 minutes. Wash them well and, give them a nice wipe with your kitchen napkin and then chop them up. Now I'm using salami. I'm just going to chop the salami, but you can use sausages, you can use ham, you can use bacon, prawns, the choice is yours. And I'm just going to add some salt to the eggs and just beat them up. And now I've added 6 cups of water to a pan. In the meantime, I'm going to prepare the sauce. So in a bowl, I've taken 2 tablespoons of soya sauce, 1 tablespoon of red chili sauce, then I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of Szechuan chutney or Szechuan sauce, 1 tablespoon of green chili sauce, 1 tablespoon of vinegar. Now I'm going to take 2 Maggi soup cubes and I'm going to add that. So you don't need to add any salt because these soup cubes have enough of salt content. So the only salt that we added was when we were beating up the eggs. Otherwise, these soup cubes make up for the salt. So don't add any extra salt. And then 1.5 teaspoon of pepper powder. And we're going to mix all of this and set this sauce aside, which we're going to add later. So now our water has started to boil, and now we're just going to add the noodles and we're going to cook it as per the instructions on the pack. So, all types of noodles have their own instructions as to how many minutes you have to cook them. So cook them well and then just strain them. And after you strain them, just add about a teaspoon of oil or half a teaspoon of oil and just, ruffle them up like this and set them aside so that they don't get, sticky. Now in a pan, I'm just going to add half a teaspoon of oil or 1/4 teaspoon of oil, and I'm just going to add the egg and just scramble the egg up and set it aside. Then I'm going to fry all the veggies really well on a high flame for very little while till they're nice and crispy. So what you can do is, keep all your veggies chopped up ready. And then all you have to do is just get your noodles ready, just fry everything and then assemble everything. And this chow has to be had really piping hot. So, that's how. Anyway, now so I've added 1 tablespoon of oil to a wok, and to that I've added the spring onion part as well as half of the greens. I'm going to add about 1 teaspoon of ginger garlic paste. I'm going to fry all of this really, really well. Now you could add even chopped up ginger and garlic. And now after this, I'm going to add all our fried veggies and the fried salami and the scrambled eggs to this and fry everything really well on a medium to high flame. Now once you've done that, just add all the noodles and just, mix them up well with the veggies. Now I'm going to add the sauces. And that's it, friends. Just fry this on a very high flame for half a minute or for a minute and turn off the flame. Put it into a serving bowl, sprinkle some spring onions, and it's all ready. And like I said, have this piping hot. So give this recipe a try, guys. So let's see today's delicious recipe of gobi Manchurian or cauliflower Manchurian. Now for the batter, I've taken 1 cup of maida or all-purpose flour or plain flour, half a cup of corn flour, 1 teaspoon of pepper powder, 1 teaspoon of red chili powder, some salt to taste, and about approximately half a cup of water. Now to a bowl, I'm going to add the plain flour as well as the corn flour and mix the two flours really well together. Then we're going to add the seasonings, which is the pepper powder as well as the red chili powder. I'm also going to add salt to taste and mix all of these dry ingredients really well together. Now I'm going to add water a little at a time to make a very thick batter. Something like you would make for a kanda bhaji or a batata bhaji. It has to be a real thick consistency. It doesn't have to be very runny, but a kind of a thick batter, like a idli batter. Something which will coat the florets of the cauliflower really well. So it should not be free flowing, it should be like a little bit of a thick kind of a consistency. Now I'm also washed the cauliflower really well and cut them up into these medium sized florets like this. And set these two aside for later. Now we're going to work on the gravy. So for that I'm going to be using 1 medium onion chopped fine, 2 light green chilies chopped fine, 4 cloves of garlic chopped fine, 1 inch of ginger chopped fine, 1 medium capsicum chopped fine, 4 tablespoons of red chili sauce, 2 tablespoons of soya sauce, 1 teaspoon of red chili powder, 1 tablespoon of water and 1 tablespoon of vinegar and some salt to taste. Now all the ingredients with their right measurements will be in the description box below. Now in a pan, I'm going to heat about 1 tablespoon of oil and we want the oil to be nice and hot. Once the oil is nice and hot, we're going to add the chopped up ginger and we're going to fry this ginger really well. Now you can peel the ginger and chop it up for this particular recipe. Now I'm going to add the chopped up garlic. Fry this garlic also really well till the rawness of the garlic really goes away. Now don't throw away the ginger peel, you can use it to make some lovely tea. Then I'm going to add the green chilies and I'm going to fry the green chilies really well. So this ginger, garlic and the green chilies, they really flavor the oil and they make this dish really, really delicious. Next, I'm going to add my onion, which I've chopped fine, and again fry the onion also till it's nice and translucent. So cook on a little bit of a medium to high flame. Now next, while the onions are getting ready, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add water to this red chili powder and I'm going to make a kind of a slurry or a kind of a paste because we don't want to add the raw chili powder to the mixture because it will give a very bitter taste. So I've added a little bit of water to the red chili powder and set it aside. Now we're going to add our chopped up capsicum, green capsicum. This also elevates the flavor of this gravy. So chop everything really fine so that you get a lovely gravy and fry the capsicum also very well. Now it's time to add the sauces. So first I'm going to add this red chili sauce. Now try to use the red chili sauce which is a little on the spicy side and not the sweetish red chili sauce. Mix everything well together. And now we're going to add the soya sauce and mix that also in really well. So the soya sauce and the chili sauce add this beautiful flavor to this gravy. Now this is not going to be a watery gravy. This is going to be a very thick gravy in which we're just going to toss, the fried florets. So it's kind of a dry dish. It's something very close to, veg crispies. So now we're going to add this red chili powder paste that we prepared with the water. Like I was saying, it's a more of a side dish that you can have it all by itself as a snack. You can have it as a serving with some fried rice. I'm also going to show you what I generally serve it up with. I generally serve it up with some capsicum, some coriander and lemon rice, which I will show you in this video. Now I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of powdered sugar. I forgot to mention this in the ingredients, sorry for that. But this also elevates the flavor and gives a nice sweetish flavor, and then some salt to taste. So now mix everything really well together. So this is an ideal dish for the weekends when you don't want to make any elaborate cooking, but it's really delicious. And now we're going to add the vinegar and mix everything well together. So this is an easy dish to prepare because it just has a gravy and it just has some, fried florets which you're going to mix together. So it's really amazing. Now give this gravy a taste and adjust it to your liking. See whether you want a little more of sourness, then you add some vinegar. If you want some more spiciness, then add more of the red chili sauce. So adjust it and now our gravy is ready. Now we're going to work on the florets. So I'm just going to dip these florets into the batter that we prepared. I have some oil heating up for deep frying, and all we have to do is just deep fry these florets till they're lovely and crispy and golden brown in color. Now the corn flour element and the plain flour element, really help in giving this beautiful crispiness to these florets. So don't, try to substitute the plain flour with whole wheat flour or anything. Just stick to the measurements of the uh, plain flour and the corn flour if you want that really crispiness to the florets. So fry them really well, and once they're done, just take them out on some kitchen napkin and fry all the rest in the same way. Now, if you also have some, baby corn at home, you can even use that along with the cauliflower. Now, I'm going to show you how I prepare this coriander and lemon rice. It's super simple. So I just parboil some basmati rice that is not fully cook it, just till it's about done and edible. And then I just add some lemon juice and some chopped up coriander. No salt or anything to be added. It's just plain coriander and plain, lemon juice. That's all. Just toss it up with this basmati rice and you're all set to go. In fact, I serve this with some stir-fried chicken also. So it's very light and it's, really refreshing to have this rice. So just try out this recipe. So now our florets are ready. They're nice and crispy. So now I'm just going to heat up. It's going to heat up the gravy. This is when, you're just ready to serve the dish. That is when you heat up the gravy. Then you put the heat off. Add these fried florets and very gently just toss them in this gravy or this sauce rather that we have prepared. So you do this only when you're ready to serve it. Don't do it in ahead of time. Otherwise, the florets will get soggy in the gravy and it'll be it'll be a disaster and a fiasco. So when you're just about to serve, that's when you will add the florets into the gravy. And all you have to do is just garnish it with some chopped up coriander, or if you have some spring onions at hand, you can garnish it with the spring onions. So remember that tip that you add the florets to the gravy only when you're about to serve it. And this goes really well, even by itself you can have it, or you can serve it with that coriander and lemon rice or some fried rice. I'll leave a link to my fried rice recipes in the description. So here I have about 1/4 cup of corn flour. To this I'm going to add some salt to taste. and 1 teaspoon of red chili powder. We're going to mix all of these ingredients well together. And then I'm just going to add about 3 to 4 tablespoons of water just to make a nice thick slurry. So mix it up well. Now we are going to take about 250 grams of paneer and empty it into a large bowl. This is homemade paneer, so I'll leave a link of how I make my paneer at home in the description box as well as the comments box. I've just cut them up into even sized cubes. Now we're going to pour this slurry all over the paneer. Mix it up well, ensuring that all of the paneer pieces are coated well. And then we're going to keep this aside to marinate for at least 10 minutes. Now after 10 minutes, we're just going to heat up some oil for deep frying the paneer cubes. And we're going to put in the paneer pieces and fry them till they're nice and golden brown in color. So we're going to keep our gas flame between low and medium and don't overcrowd the pan. And once they're fried, we're just going to drain off the excess oil on a kitchen napkin or a kitchen towel. Now it's time to prepare some gravy for this paneer chili, which is also very easy and very simple with ingredients that we always have in our kitchen or our kitchen pantry. So now I'm using the same oil that I used for deep frying, but I'm using just about 2 tablespoons of it. I'm going to add 3 light green slit chilies to the oil because we want to flavor the oil well with the chili. Now we're going to add some chopped up garlic as well as ginger, which is very finely chopped. So I've taken about 10 cloves of garlic and an inch of ginger. We're going to fry the ginger garlic very well till the garlic starts turning a little light brown in color. Now next we're going to add some cubed up green bell pepper or capsicum. So I've just cut them up into even sized cubes, medium sized, and we are going to fry them for a little while in the oil. Now we are going to add 1 medium sized onion also, which I have cubed into medium sized pieces. And we are going to fry all of this for a minute or so till the onions become translucent. Now we want a gravy, so we are going to add about 1 cup of water. And we're going to mix everything well and let the water come to a light, gentle boil on a low to medium heat. Now this paneer chili goes really well with some fried rice. So I am going to put the links to my fried rice recipes down in the description box as well as the comments box. Now here again I've prepared a small slurry using 1 tablespoon of corn flour with 1/4 cup of water and mixing it very well and adding it to our gravy because this helps to thicken up the gravy and we're looking for a nice thick paneer chili gravy. Now it's time to add some sauces which will really flavor this paneer chili. We're going to start by adding 1 tablespoon of soya sauce and we're going to mix that soya sauce in well. It gives a lovely flavor as well as a lovely color to this paneer chili dish. Next, we're going to add some red chili sauce, about 1 tablespoon again, and we're going to mix it well with the gravy. Now this dish has a sweet, sour, tangy, spicy, lovely flavor. So now I'm just going to be adding about 3/4 tablespoon of tomato ketchup or tomato sauce. This adds a nice, gentle, sweet flavor to this dish. Now mix everything well together. And then we just have about 2 ingredients more to go and then our dish is all ready. This dish gets ready really quickly. Once you have all your ingredients chopped and ready, it just gets ready in few minutes. Now I'm just going to flavor this with some pepper powder, about 1 teaspoon of pepper powder and some salt. And again, we're going to mix everything well together. Now it's time to add our we're going to add some vinegar first. So I've added about half a tablespoon of vinegar. And again, we're going to mix everything well together. And now it's time to add our paneer, which we have fried. So they're really nice and crispy. Now, one tip I'd like to give you here is you can fry the paneer and keep it aside and make the gravy. And just when you're ready to serve, that's the time when you can heat up the gravy and then add the fried paneer to it. Let it cook for a minute or so till everything gets well integrated together. And there, friends, you have this delicious paneer chili, which gets ready in no time and is so very delicious to eat. Now we can make the stock in two ways. One way is that you just use the cubes, that is the veg cubes which are available, or the non-veg or chicken cubes. Now what you do is, in a large pot, take about 6 cups of water, and to that add about 2 of these soup cubes and stir them in well and boil for about 5 to 7 minutes. Now the second way is you actually make the veg or the non-veg stock. Now if you're making a stock, what you do is take water, about 6 cups, add vegetables of your choice, that is carrots, onions, potatoes, even chicken if you're making the non-veg stock, and let this boil for some time, about 5 to 10 minutes, till the chicken is nice and cooked. You can add vegetables of your choice. You can add broccoli. You can add leafy vegetables like spinach. You can also add some legumes like French beans or whatever vegetables that you have in your pantry, in your refrigerator, and you like adding to your stock. So you have to let this boil and let it cook till the chicken is cooked if you're making non-veg, and till the vegetables are nice and done. And then all you have to do is just strain out all of the stock and use it for the soup. And when you're making the chicken soup, you just retain the chicken and shred it. So now let's go to the rest of the ingredients that we're going to require for this manchow soup, which are very simple, and we always have them in our kitchen. Now these are 2 packets of manchow soup powder. You can use any brand. Then you require some very finely chopped garlic. We require lots of garlic, so at least about 10 cloves of garlic, very finely chopped. We require 1 inch of ginger to be nicely grated. Then we're going to use again 1 carrot, which we're going to dice very finely. 1 small onion. You can use the regular red onion or you can use the spring onion, whatever you like in your soup, and chop it up very fine. Besides that, I'm going to be adding a little bit of chopped cabbage. This is optional. If you like it, you can add it. Now we're going to make a small corn flour slurry by adding 1 tablespoon of corn flour and half a cup of water. This gives a little thicker consistency to the soup. Then we're going to use about 1.5 teaspoon of pepper powder. We're going to use 1 tablespoon of red chili sauce, which is easily available in general stores. And we're going to use about 2 to 3 tablespoons of soya sauce. 1 is for the flavor as well as for the lovely color that the manchow soup has. Then of course we require some salt to taste, and we're also going to use some fried Chinese noodles, which are easily available nowadays in the market as a garnish. Don't worry if you don't have these fried noodles, all you do is just take a Hakka noodle pack, which is available in all general stores, and just deep fry those Hakka noodles and then drain them on a kitchen napkin and then just crush them up to this consistency. So now let's begin making this very simple and easy manchow soup. So now whichever stock you are using, you're going to add these packets. I'm adding about 2 packets. And we're going to just stir in all of this very, very well. Now I'm going to be adding my ginger and my garlic first. And mix in all of this very well. I use a whisk because then that way it becomes very easy to make it. Now we're going to add about 2 tablespoons of soya sauce. Now first I'm adding it just for the flavor, and then I will be adding about 1 tablespoon more for the deep color. Give it a good stir. Now we're going to add the rest of the vegetables. That is, I'm going to be adding in the chopped up carrots. Stir it in well. And then we're going to be adding this pepper. Give all of this a good mix. Then we're going to be adding some salt to taste. I'm adding a little bit less because even the soup powder has a little bit of salt. Add the cabbage. And now let all of this nicely cook and over a low flame. Let it come to a nice boil. So just cook everything well together. And then we're going to add the red chili sauce. And like I said, I like the deep color of the soup, so I'm adding 1 more tablespoon of soya sauce just for that rich color. And now everything is in, so we're going to let everything cook. Now we don't want to add the chicken in now because the chicken is already cooked in the stock, so all you have to do is just shred it really, really fine. Now we're going to add the corn flour slurry to thicken up the soup. And then at the end, we're going to add our shredded chicken. And that's it, friends. Our soup is all ready to serve. It's really very delicious, and it's best when it's had nice and piping hot. You can have it just like this if you don't want to put in the noodles, but I always prefer them with some lovely noodles on the top. This is really, really some kind of soul food. You feel really good just sipping on this amazing manchow soup. I do have some other soup recipes. I will leave them in my comments box below as well as my description box below. I've got a very healthy dal soup, and I have another 2 or 3 soup recipes. I will be coming up with more. So I hope you like today's recipe. I hope you give it a try. And so friends, let's start with today's Chinese bhel. So first I'm going to show you how I chopped up all the veggies. They're just 3 veggies. Now for the carrots, wash the carrots, peel them, and then cut them in this manner. Then you hold them, vertically like this and slice them into rectangles like this. Now I'm using the orange carrots because they're generally broader. But if you get the red carrots also, try and cut them in this fashion. And then you just put the pieces one on top of the other and then slice them very thinly like this. So use a very sharp, serrated knife if possible. So we're going to be using carrots, we're going to be using capsicum, and we're going to be using some cabbage. So this is how you have to thinly slice the carrots. Now we're going to very finely chop up the capsicum. So for that, I'm just going to take off the top of the capsicum. I'm going to take off the the white part of it. And then we're just going to thinly slice them in this manner. And then just chop them up very fine like this. So you can prep all your veggies, either a day before and keep them in the refrigerator, or whenever you feel like making this bale, you can just do it. So if your veggies are ready and if the sauce that I'm going to show you is ready, then the Chinese bale doesn't take any time to really prepare. So in this manner, you're going to finely chop these green capsicums. And now we go on to the cabbage. So I'm using a very small cabbage, and I'm going to be showing you how I've cut it up fine. So wash your cabbage very, very well, or soak it in some salt water for about 5-10 minutes, and then wash it. Take out the outer leaves, and then just chop them like this. Just keep on turning the cabbage round and round like this, and start chopping them with a sharp knife. And then you can go over it, and then again chop it extremely fine. This cabbage really gives it a lovely crunch, the Chinese bale. So this is our cabbage already. Now let's work on the sauce. Now the sauce is also very important. Now I'm going to show you, what proportions I've added, but you've got to taste the sauce and make it as per your taste. So in a bowl, I've taken about 2 tablespoons of Szechuan chutney. To that, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of red chili sauce. Next, I'm going to be adding about 2 tablespoons of tomato ketchup, because this is a spicy, tangy kind of a sauce. Then I'm going to go with 1 tablespoon of soya sauce and 1 tablespoon of vinegar. So you have the sour element, you have the spicy element, you have the sweet element, and then mix all of this really well together, and then give it a taste and see whether you require any more of the sauces, or if you want a little bit of salt. Now I'm refraining from adding salt because the soya sauce already has a little bit of salt. Now I found that I wanted it a little more spicy, so I went with half a tablespoon more of the red chili sauce. But please add it according to your taste, guys. And that's it, friends. Your sauce is ready. Your veggies are chopped. Now this is the ready-made fried noodles. Now if you don't get your hands on this, just buy some Hakka noodles and just deep fry them very well till they're light golden brown in color. And once you cool them down a bit, just crumble them up to this size. Now I like to add a little bit of roasted peanuts to my Chinese bale. So I've just taken some raw peanuts and I'm just going to roast them for about 5 to 10 minutes till they look like this. Then I'm going to bring them to room temperature and I'm going to just peel off the peel. And that's it. And I have the roasted peanuts ready. This also adds a lovely crunch. And this is completely optional. But, if you add it, it really elevates the taste of the dish. And this is the roasted peanuts already. And now, friends, all we have to do is just assemble everything. So in a large bowl, I've taken my Chinese fried noodles. I'm going to add my veggies according to taste. That is whatever you want to add, in the proportion that you want to add. So I've got my capsicum in, I've got my carrots in, I've got the cabbage in. Now I'm just going to drizzle the sauce. Again, the sauce also has to be added as per your taste. So you can start with adding just a little bit, maybe a tablespoon or 2, and mix it and then see if you wanted more, more sauce. Then you add more sauce. If you want to add more noodles, you add more noodles. So this is really, person specific and how you like it. Mix everything really well. And then we're just going to add some peanuts for that extra crunch. Like I said, it's completely optional, but it really, really elevates the taste of the dish. And that's it, guys. Your Chinese bale is ready. So you can just keep all these things, veggies ready in your refrigerator, the sauce prepared. And whenever hunger strikes, just, put all of this together and you have this amazing Chinese bale ready to eat. So try out this recipe, guys, and let me know how you like it.